Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're tackling something pretty crucial, I think, for anyone really wanting to, turn goals into reality. We're talking about discipline.
Yeah, discipline. It's that thing we all grapple with, isn't it? That gap between knowing what you should do and, well, actually doing it.
Exactly. That struggle is real. And the material we're digging into today really puts it front and center.
It does. The core idea, and it's quite bold, is that the main reason people don't reach their potential isn't really about talent or, luck.
It's discipline, or rather, the lack of it.
Precisely. A lack of discipline. That's the big bottleneck, according to the source.
Which kind of flies in the face of all the talk about needing constant motivation, right?
Oh, absolutely. That's one of the first big points, this myth of motivation, the idea that successful people are just always fired up.
Yeah, like they wake up bouncing off the walls every day.
It's just not true, according to this Winners Act. They do the work even when they absolutely don't feel like it.
Which is, well, the complete opposite of waiting for that perfect moment or for inspiration to strike.
Right. That feeling that, let's be honest, might never come. Or it's fleeting at best.
We've all been there, haven't we? Putting something off, just waiting.
And the text really frames discipline as the bedrock, the absolute foundation for anything significant you want to build.
Like building a house, you need that solid base.
Exactly that analogy. A weak foundation.
Hmm.
The whole structure is compromised, no matter how grand the plans look on paper.
So without discipline, your goals are kind of built on shaky ground.
That's the argument. And it throws this question right at you, the listener. Is it where you want to be?
Oof, that's direct.
It is. It makes you connect your current situation directly to how much discipline you're actually applying or not applying.
Yeah, it really forces you to take stock. And the text doesn't shy away from painting a picture of what happens without it.
No, it contrasts things quite starkly. You've got those who lack discipline, always looking for shortcuts, putting things off.
Masters of the excuse. We probably all know someone like that. Maybe even ourselves sometimes.
Well, yeah. And the text describes it as this kind of cycle, almost a spiral, where you just stay stuck.
Stagnation.
Right. And then comes this, challenge. The only difference between you and them is whether you make a change right now.
Wow. So it's saying the power is entirely in your hands right now.
Pretty much. It's tough love, maybe, but also empowering, like you said. It removes the excuses.
Okay, so if it's not about feeling motivated, what is true discipline, according to this?
It's defined not as, enjoying every single task,
Hmm.
because who does?
Right. Nobody loves everything they have to do.
Exactly. It's about doing what is necessary. That's the key word. Necessary, regardless of how you feel about it in the moment.
Like the examples given, working out when you're tired.
Yeah, or dragging yourself out of bed early when it's warm and comfortable.
Or just sticking with a project when you hit a rough patch and feel like quitting.
It's about controlling your emotions, your impulses, rather than letting them control you. That's the essence of it.
Choosing your actions deliberately.
You got it. And to really hammer this home, the source looks at these high achievers, these sort of champions.
Like the Mike Tyson quote.
Yeah, that's a powerful one. Discipline is doing what you hate to do, but doing it like you love it.
That's intense. It's about the performance of commitment, almost, acting as if.
It's about that mental override, pushing past the internal resistance. You see this pattern again and again.
Like with David Goggins.
Absolutely. His whole story isn't about finding joy in extreme pain. It's about a fundamental refusal to be weak, to quit. That's his driver.
So the discipline comes from a deeper value, not the enjoyment of the activity itself.
Precisely. Or think about Kobe Bryant, getting up ridiculously early for practice.
Yeah, the legendary work ethic.
It wasn't because he always felt like it.
Yeah.
It was because he understood that discipline, that extra work, was the path to being unstoppable. It created an edge.
It's strategic, almost.
In a way, yes. And Jocko Willink, too. Discipline equals freedom, right? His routine isn't about finding motivation each day.
It's just what he does. It's automatic.
His operating system. It's ingrained, not just a tool he pulls out occasionally.
And the samurai example really highlights the stakes, doesn't it?
Oh, definitely. For them, daily rigorous training wasn't about self-improvement in the modern sense. It was literally life or death.
Lack of discipline could mean not surviving the next fight.
Exactly. The consequences were immediate and severe. So discipline wasn't optional. It was a necessity baked into their existence.
So the common thread is they built systems, habits, mental toughness, not relying on just, feeling good.
That's the core takeaway. They cultivated discipline. which thankfully leads us to the practical stuff,
Yeah.
how you can actually build it.
Okay, actionable steps. Let's hear them.
Right. Step 1 is pretty potent. Remove the option of quitting.
Just take it off the table completely.
Yeah. Absolute commitment. If you decide you're going to do something,
Yeah.
like work out, then in your mind, it's already done. There's no debate.
You don't negotiate with yourself anymore.
Exactly. It eliminates that whole internal argument that drains so much energy.
Okay, that makes sense. What's next?
Step 2, start small, but, and this is crucial, be consistent.
So don't try to become a discipline machine overnight.
Definitely not. That's a
Yeah.
recipe for burnout. The advice is to pick one small thing. A consistent wake-up time, maybe? Or 5 minutes of exercise.
Or reading a few pages instead of scrolling social media.
For perfect example, something manageable. But do it every single day. Build that muscle of consistency. It creates momentum from those small wins.
Little victories add up. Got it. Step 3.
Step 3 circles back to what we discussed. Stop relying on feelings.
Right. Act regardless of mood.
Mm-hmm. The text is really blunt about this. Successful people act, period. Whether they feel like it or not is irrelevant to the action itself. That's a huge mental shift for a lot of people.
It really is. We're so used to letting our feelings dictate our actions.
We are. Which leads nicely into step 4. Embrace discomfort.
Okay, so don't just tolerate it. Embrace it.
Kind of, yeah. See difficult moments not as setbacks, but as training grounds. Opportunities to get stronger.
Like lifting weights, the resistance is what builds muscle.
Exactly. There's a line in there. If you only do what's easy, you'll stay weak forever. Pushing your comfort zone is where the growth actually happens.
Makes sense. And step 5,
Track and hold yourself accountable. Write stuff down.
like keeping a log.
Yeah. Document what you plan to do
Yeah.
and what you actually did. When you see it written down, missed workout, didn't wake up on time, it forces you to confront it,
No hiding from the truth.
right? Personal accountability. And then there's this really interesting concept they introduce, callous your mind.
Callous your mind, like calluses on your hands.
Pretty much the same idea.
Mm,
You build mental resilience by deliberately doing things that are hard, that you don't necessarily want to do.
like taking a cold shower. Or doing that task you've been avoiding.
Could be anything, really. The text actually says, do something that sucks every day.
Wow, okay. That sounds unpleasant.
It does. But the thinking is, by willingly facing small hardships, you lessen their psychological power over you. You build toughness. You learn to stay hard, as they put it.
So you train yourself to endure, to push through.
That's the idea. It connects back to that point that weakness is largely a mindset. It's a choice you make in moments of discomfort.
And then there was something about a governor.
Ah, yes. Remove the governor. Like on an engine, the governor limits its speed. We have mental governors that tell us to stop way before we're actually depleted.
The 40% rule idea.
Exactly. Your mind screams stop when you've only used, say, 40% of your capacity.
Yeah.
The call is to consciously push past that point. Recognize it's just your brain trying to conserve energy.
Push beyond those perceived limits.
Mm-hmm. And the final point in this section is no more negotiations.
Back at the commitment thing.
Pretty much. It hammers it home. Your feelings don't get a vote. Your fatigue doesn't get a vote. You decided to do the work. So you do the work. End of discussion.
Your feelings don't matter. That's stark.
It is. But it's about prioritizing the long-term goal over the short-term feeling.
So when you put all that together, it really boils down to a choice, doesn't it?
Absolutely. The source presents it very clearly. Path 1, stay comfortable, wait for motivation that might not come, make excuses, and likely fall short.
Or path 2, embrace discipline, take control, do the necessary things consistently.
Right. And the text is uncompromising here. It
Okay.
basically says choosing not to be disciplined is choosing failure, or at least choosing not to reach your potential.
Yeah.
There's no real middle ground offered.
So it puts the question squarely back on the listener.
Yes. So ask yourself, who will you be? The person who makes excuses or the person who takes action? It demands an answer.
And it's not just a one-time decision, is it?
No, that's the final emphasis. Discipline isn't a project you complete. It's a lifestyle. It's an ongoing commitment, a way of life every single day.
You have to keep choosing it.
Every day.
Yeah.
And the time to start is immediate. Start now. Not tomorrow, not next week. Now.
No more delays.
No more delays. And it closes with that really concise, powerful thought.
The one about choosing.
Yeah. Discipline is choosing between what you want now and what you want most.
Instant gratification versus long-term fulfillment.
That's the fundamental trade-off. So, wrapping it all up, The core message is undeniable, isn't it? If you're truly serious about achieving significant goals, discipline is the engine, not motivation.
Motivation is fickle, discipline is reliable.
Well put. Motivation gets you started, maybe, but discipline keeps you going when things get tough, when the novelty wears off.
And those steps we outline, they give you a practical roadmap, right? Start small, be consistent, embrace the suck.
Exactly. Remove the option of quitting.
Yeah.
Hold yourself accountable. It's a framework you can actually start using today, like right after this.
Yeah, no excuses left, really. And that final thought, it's a good one to sit with.
Definitely. What you want now versus what you want most.
It forces you to clarify what those most wanted things actually are. Your biggest goals, your deepest values.
Mm-hmm. And then to honestly assess, are your daily actions, your current habits, actually moving you closer to that? Or are they keeping you stuck, prioritizing momentary comfort?
It's a powerful lens through which to view your choices, a real challenge to consider long after you stop listening.
Absolutely. Something to really mull over.